up YouTube, it's Louis here. I'm back with finally another Bitcoin update for you guys this week. We started off by saying we should see a weekly reversal because of this specific candlestick. Now, this means that in the, well, obviously, if this continues to hold 18.6K and this newly formed low over here, if we continue to hold this wick's low, basically, then this should actually eventually reverse. What is meant to happen at first, because we're at resistance, we need to fall back down. So if we go to the daily, you can see this could be the final chance it gets at actually breaking below 18.6K before we actually decide. So this is going to, as in we've run into resistance now after bouncing from here, right? And we've been saying the whole way through 18.6K and the 2017 high, this is the support area. And when we're holding the bottom within, we should go back to the top within. So this is acting as resistance. So that's why when we bounce down here, we've come straight back to the resistance and bounced again. So that's why I was telling you guys, okay, expect 19K. And that's a nice psychological level with the, sorry, not psychological level, my mistake. Well, it is, sorry, but it was also the 786. That was my point right here. It's also a psychological level as well as the 786 fib. So if we were to see a close below the 786 fib, which is 19K, that is when we should see 18.6K essentially. And as we're under the EMAs, that is what it should be signaling. So there have been multiple times on this chart for Bitcoin where the bears should have pushed price below 17K, this bottom over here. The first, I've gone through this many times, but I need to go through it again to just show you that this is the last time with the patterns, and I'll go through the patterns again. So, but first let's see the times that the bears were actually in power and then the chart did not do what it should. So obviously we're in a bear market, or a manipulated market, I like to call it, or just say a downtrend. And when we're in a downtrend, we're below the EMA. So that's why every time you can see we've got multiple EMAs. If we're under them, if the EMAs are over us and we're under them, then we should actually continue lower and make lower lows. So that's why over here, when we rejected this EMA, we should make a lower low, and it failed to do so. Here we had a fake out here and we failed to break below that. We rejected the 55, which is a trend continuation moving average. So we should trend downwards, making lower lows. You didn't do it there. Here, sorry, over here, when we lost all the moving averages, that is your confirmation. And another, and we never actually had, if I get rid of this blue one, with the purple and the orange, they were about to cross over, forming a bullish cross. So what would have actually happened is we would have continued up. Because we fell through it, the EMAs, and we went back underneath them, it means that the bullish cross was never formed. Now this forms a slingshot action, as you can see here, massive dump. However, this dump, again, did not close below 18.6K. So it never validated this 14K and 10.7, 10.8K target. So just there were a handful, and there was more here. So when we get above the 55, that's very bullish, as we did here. But if we ever fall below, we should technically go lower and actually lose these lows. I'll show you over here, where we got above the EMAs, and then we went back underneath all of them, flipped them into resistance, where we're under all three of these. And you can see we eventually lost this when we went down. So the same thing should be happening here. You got above them and then went back under. Got above and went back under, so we should lose that. And it happened multiple times in this area, even more recently, just over here in the last few days. So here, that's when you should have lost this low. Over here, you should have lost that low. Over here, you should now come down and lose this low and this low. But that's why I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the final chance if it wants to actually go down to these technical targets. There is a stop off at 16K, 14K, and then 10.7K. That is the target. So the 14K target comes from here. We've been talking about this head and shoulders. If it were to be bearish, you have to lose the neckline, which is 18.6K. That's how we head lower. And then we also have this massive descending triangle. Now, the reason why I'm saying we're going to break out in the next days, and this is probably the last chance, is because we've now run into this resistance. And you can see we have this downtrending resistance and this horizontal support. And the apex is there, just where the two lines meet. So this breakout, whether there's a breakdown or breakout, it needs to happen before the 1st of November. So so how many? So yeah, we've got 11 days left essentially. So we've got 2 weeks until it decides if we're going to break up or down. You can see if we're holding above 19K, If we are to keep hovering above 19k, then you technically got until the 25th of October. You're going to get, you're going to decide down or up, and then confirm it's support, something like that, or the complete opposite like that. We're just waiting to see, are we going to hold 18.6k and 19k, and is this where we're going to break out? Or is this actually pushing us down with the EMAs? Because we are below the EMAs again, as I've shown you in the past where they were working. When you got above them, that's meant to be bullish. You fell back under, and when you fall under, you should continue your downtrend and lose that, and you eventually lost that. The same here, you got above the 20. When you lost it and you fell back under it, you should lose that and go down. And that's what exactly, and lose the low basically and put in a lower low. So essentially that's what should be happening here, because we got above the 20, hit the 55, which is acting as like a double brick wall, confirming this downtrend. And of course a downtrend is lower lows and lower highs, so that's what we should be seeing. But you're just not closing below 18.6k, so it's basically showing you guys that this is the support that can't be lost. And as long as we're above this, Bitcoin has chances of breaking out bullish, okay? And we know the level that we want to get above and close above, the previous all-time high. You can see previously when we were closing above the all-time high here, the previous all-time high, 2017 high, 19,600. We had this downtrend, which we weren't out of yet. So even just hovering above it, it didn't mean much. Obviously, holding above 18.6k means it's bullish, and of course the previous all-time high is going to give us opportunity to break out, but that downtrend is what was pushing us down. Now we're coming into the apex, there's not much room left, so even if you do just reclaim that previous all-time high, you can see that you would be outside of it, whereas before, just by being above it, you weren't outside of this downtrend. Doing that now, you would be, and that would be bullish for Bitcoin, and that would basically make us run into this next key area. We need to really close above this for us to start heading back towards 25k. So we need to see a close above 21k to head back to 25k, and a close above the 2017 high to actually head into this. Okay, once we are actually, well, we don't know what the case is, but if we are to break out bullish again, the 55 is going to act as some resistance. So that's why I'm saying once we are actually fully above the 050 fib, then yeah, that's when we can expect this upside towards 22 and 25k. By then, also, you're on your way to this technical target. You have a double bottom over here, this double bottom we've been talking about for a while. However, that target would not become valid until you're above 25k. This target would be about 32,000. However, we do have a target already at about 30,600 or 31k or just 30k, whatever you want to call it, out of this. It looks like a descending triangle, but we've been saying that it's an actual inverse head and shoulders over here. So if it does break out over here, that is its eventual target, around 30,000. There will be key resistance prior to this at the 1 fib level over here, which is the 2021 low. This is the lowest point of last year. Everyone's focused on 28k over here, but this is actually the lowest point, January the 4th at 27,700. So that will be a key resistance going forward. If we're getting above that level and confirming it as support, then that's what's going to make Bitcoin extremely bullish. And that should send us back to this previous level, which I was able to give you guys back in January, where I told you I was going to sell 50% as the bear market has now begun, since we lost this daily and weekly low. But that's pretty much it. I'll update you guys next Monday on Bitcoin. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and yeah.